I mean, my DMs are full of guys who want pics of me flexing.
Yeah.
Same.
My mother will tell you that I was pretty religious, relatively speaking, and that I liked to wear skirts, and I kept Shabbos, but I would blow dry my hair. I came in second in 3 classes. I'm fifth in 1.
Yeah.
And I was bit by the bug. And I said, well, if I can come in second, then I can come in first.
Yeah.
I have been in relationships where guys have said, I think you work out too much.
Right.
And I'm like, I think you and I are not right for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye. The one thing that I kept coming back to, my brain kept replaying, was Eshet Chayil, a woman of valor.
From iron wombs our fathers
Going to shoot a TV show after I... this is how crazy my life is. Oh, by the way, zoom in, Ian. For those of you that don't know, zoom in on my hands. Yeah. That's what fake tan days after on your hands looks like.
Oh, my God.
It takes days to come off. And I bite my nails, so it looks like they've been stuck in...
I thought you had some sort of disease or something.
Yeah, it looks like a disease. It looks like, not alopecia, vitiligo. It looks like I got thumb vitiligo.
Leprosy.
It's so gross.
Yeah.
When you shower the first time, it comes off a little bit, but not all the way. So
No kind of like alcohol or cream you could put on?
I guess alcohol. By the way, this time it was on the tip of my dinger. I don't know how. You put a sock on and they spray you. Somehow it got through the sock, so it was on the tip of my dinger. So my dinger looked all infected. So it wasn't. I took it off, luckily. But, yeah, got to watch your language. My daughter's sitting by today because we have a very special guest that I think is she is crossing Union Square right now.
She'll be our PG
She will be
episode.
downstairs in a few minutes. But as you know, and we'll fill you in later, but I did the Universe this past weekend. Now I'm off to do the Masters Nationals.
Nice.
And I was telling Jordan I had signed up to do classic bodybuilding, which is very hard because the category is 5'7" and under, which means you could go in, there's no weight to it. So I could go in, guy could be like 220. And I don't want to set myself up to lose. So I'm going to be going in. There's 7 classes in Masters Bodybuilding.
Okay.
Bantamweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight, super heavyweight.
Okay.
The top 4 in the overall get a pro card. So it's not an easy place to get a pro card. And I think I'm past caring about getting a pro card. I think we talked about this where it's like, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to compete as a pro anyways. It's just a nice feather in your cap, I think. But they give them out so often now.
It's not even that impressive. I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't pat you on the back if you had one, but it's also like they give them out a lot. And
You would pat me on the back if I had one?
I'll pat you on the back regardless.
I mean, it's just weird to pat someone on the back.
I mean,
It's an odd thing, isn't it?
I think if you've come that far and you got the pro card, it's not like it's nothing, but it's also they hand them out very frequently.
Yeah, and it's also 5 weeks of competing, which is crazy to me. That in 2 contests, I already have 8 medals so far.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's a lot that most people will quit their day job while actually trying to do this because it's so intense. And it's like your day job is literally on a stage, entertaining people, and you have to keep it together because if you lose a step, it's and you've been hungry and this and that. How's that going? Is it?
It's good. Yeah, I talked to you last week before the U, and I did a show. A day before, 2 days before I went and did a show.
Lightheaded.
I was like, I feel lighted, but I went. I sat down on stage. I did 25 minutes, and it was great. And
did like a big Jay Okerson kind of thing. You sat in a chair.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't own that, but when you're tired, I sit down a lot. I'll probably sit down tonight too.
Yeah.
And then of course, then right after this show, so I'm flying to Pittsburgh, where I'm going to hold water. You hold water when you fly. Why is that?
I don't actually know. Is it because of blood pressure or something like that? Or is the blood pressure, your blood pressure goes up because you hold the water? Yeah, I don't know. Why is that?
I don't know. Ian, why do you think you hold water on a plane?
We got to chat GPT that. Is it because I would say obviously it's because of the bad food, but you're not eating that food. So.
Oh, I want to tell Piper something. Hey, Pipes. Remember Mom said that there was this huge asshole of a person that was so rude to her in Delaware? He's sitting out there right now.
Should we just kick his ass? And
he walked by. Yeah, that's him. Yep, that's him. That guy. He's an a-hole.
She knows karate, though, right?
She knows Taekwondo.
Wow.
He was extremely rude to my wife, and it's taking everything in me to not go out and just beat the shit out of him.
But he just came over to you.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I know. Everyone thinks they're cool with me. Flying causes water retention and bloating due to low cabin pressure, dry air, prolonged sitting, and high sodium airline meals. So
That makes sense.
you don't eat the food. We're going to increase the cabin pressure. How would you do that? You would probably open the window or the emergency door.
Yeah.
Would that help Ian?
Emergency door?
Yeah, open the emergency. Are you going to go downstairs and get our guest?
No, I think she's here.
Oh, perfect.
Our guest today, I met her on Instagram. If you don't know what that is, it's a thing on the internet. You put pictures on it. You can talk on it. People post a lot of stuff on it. People get banned on it. But she puts up very wholesome content, reached out to me, and then it turns out we end up doing the universe the same weekend. And she sends me a picture of her, and she goes, I'm in the top 2 in this group. She goes, start dovening. And then I said, Hashem is good. And then cut to a couple hours later, she sends me a picture of her with a pro card. So
Amazing.
Not only a badass Jew, hardcore, female bodybuilder, battles diabetes, still looks swole AF, and also helps other women through her own company that she's going to tell us about. Please welcome Dena, everybody.
Dena, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
I think that pretty much summarizes it. The
That's
only
it.
thing I would add, and I think that anyone who knows you will not be surprised by this,
Yeah.
but of course, most of us only know you as a comedian or whatever. And for women, our expectations for this are very, very low.
Okay.
So I said, I reached out. I said, we have to stick together, Jewish bodybuilders.
Yeah.
And there's so few of us. It's a weird sport. And you wouldn't think most Jews would think of bodybuilding anyway.
Right.
And so you were very receptive to that. But then I said, look, I've been listening to the podcast. It's great. I love it. And I love that you've managed to find Jewish bodybuilders to have on the podcast. But I'm disappointed that so far you haven't had any female Jewish bodybuilders.
Yeah.
And your response instantaneously, no hesitation, was, you're right. We need to have you on.
Yeah.
And I mean, my heart leapt. If you weren't married,
on.
I would ask you if we could go out. I mean, our women's expectations are we have to fight for a place at the table. And
Really?
Oh yeah. All industries. And so to know you acknowledged the lack, and without hesitation, I don't think you were embarrassed or upset by it. You're like, we have to remedy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be a woman at the table.
I agree.
Well, and Aaron told me, I was like 100%, just because it's exactly what the show is. It's badass Jews, and you fit the category, obviously.
Thank you.
And it's also like, things that you wouldn't think like, oh, Jewish this or Jewish that. And then we have it on, and it's like, we want our audience to be like, oh, that exists. We're
Right.
out there. It's not just,
Right.
Yeah.
Although it started with these fitness professionals. You've had a lot of fitness professionals
Right.
on, but then recently you had Ari and Jared,
Right.
who I don't think you'd put in that category. So.
We ran out of bodybuilders, and we're like, let's go to Jared and Ari.
And I also thought to myself, who am I, right? Who am I? No one knows me to be on this show.
Yeah.
Especially after people who people do know, like Jared and Ari.
Right.
And then I thought, you know what? If you are a Jewish bodybuilder and you are watching this, don't be upset, because I postulate that you could have every single Jewish bodybuilder on this podcast, one episode a week, and you'd be done by Rosh Hashanah.
Come on.
I mean, are there that many of us?
Do you know when I was growing up, and I don't know how old you are, you're clearly younger than me. I'm
Just a
guessing
little bit.
You're probably in your 20s, late 20s.
That's sweet of you.
So I was growing up, there was one Jewish pro named Jason Markovich.
Okay.
And it was spelled Markovici, so it almost looked Italian. And he was a Toronto guy, and he was massive. And I remember I'd never seen him at a gym. I didn't know where he trained, but I knew he was a security guy at this bar I would go to. And he got shot. Not killed, but got shot in the leg. Like someone drove by and shot him. And I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's still around. Can you find me a picture of Jason Markovich?
Jason Markovich.
Spelled Markovici. And he was,
Oh, wow.
I mean, I don't know if that's him.
Whoever that is, he's fantastic.
Muscle and fitness.
Well, he had long hair. Maybe he's competing as a Masters guy now. He's definitely not that big
That's
black
definitely not
guy.
him.
He had long hair. Maybe that's a different guy. But anyways, there are a few of us around, and then you meet the guys like Palumbo that are like pizza bagels and stuff like that.
Right.
But where did it
count?
Where did it start for you? Where are you from? Tell us about
Good questions.
upbringing.
I was born in St. Louis, and then
Missouri.
Yes.
A lot of Jews?
No, about 350,000. Yeah. It's
350,000 Jews?
Seems like a lot of Jews.
In St. Louis?
Mostly Reform and Reconstructionist.
Okay.
About 50,000 Orthodox.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
And it's such a weird place because it can't support a kosher restaurant. And so anyone who keeps kosher is either only eating at home or their friends' houses, or they eat out when they go to Chicago. And the yeshiva high school in St. Louis, the parents send their boys to Cincinnati and Minneapolis, but then the yeshiva high school in St. Louis is full of boys from Cincinnati and Minneapolis. It's like the one in your own backyard is not good enough. The grass is always greener. I don't get that phenomenon. It was a non-issue for girls. I mean, there was a Beis Yaakov.
But you grew up religious.
So
Okay.
in St. Louis, my father grew up very traditional, conservative, keeping kosher, but eating dairy and fish out, going to shul religiously every Shabbos, doing Shabbat dinner. My mother and he grew up at the same shul, but they didn't know each other because my mother went religiously twice a year and ate anything in the house. And when they got married, she started keeping kosher. But Shabbos, we'd drive for Shabbat dinner at my grandparents. And we moved when I was in third grade to Washington, D.C. And prior to that, my mother decided she didn't like Saturday morning cartoons. So suddenly we weren't watching TV on Shabbat.
Okay.
And then there was one Friday night in elementary school where the phone had been ringing off the hook all day. She lit the candles, sat down on the couch, the phone rings, and she's like, we're not answering the phone on Shabbat anymore. So we slowly kind of added on a little bit of stuff. We moved to Washington, D.C. when I was in third grade, and suddenly it wasn't like our Jewish education was going to end at sixth grade because there were Jewish high schools.
Yeah.
And so my dad's like, I'm not going to pay for Hebrew school if I can just send you to a Jewish high school. So we're at day school the whole time. And the day school, which is in the greater Washington area where Ari grew up, I actually needed to look up where he went to high school.
Yeah.
It's the largest Jewish day school in the country, the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School. And it has people from all walks of Judaism. And there's like 17 different minyanim every morning in the upper school. Everything from spiritual relaxation to mechitza minyan for Sephardic, mechitza minyan for Ashkenaz. And
all in one school.
All in one school, because the upper school alone, 7th through 12th grade, was 700 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you wanted to try, you could try. And then you could go to a friend's house for Shabbos and it's all Shabbos, and another friend's house for Shabbos and it's no Shabbos. Like anything you wanted. And so I got involved in USY, I got involved in NCSY because my parents also moved us to a neighborhood in DC where two very large shuls face each other across 16th Street. One is traditional conservative, and one at the time was, you could call it modern Orthodox.
Okay.
One is now called the National Synagogue. You might have heard of it. And so it was a, pick your own flavor of Judaism, right? And if I had said I wanted to get tattoos, that would have been a no.
Yeah.
But you want to go on an NCSY retreat one weekend and you want to go on a USY retreat another weekend? Sure. And so it was a lot of, it was a nice mix.
How did you feel in that circle? Like, were you connected to it? Like very connected to it? Or were you always feeling like, maybe I feel a little bit like outside of it?
That's a fair question.
Okay.
I really dove in.
Okay.
And I was, my mother will tell you that I was pretty religious,
Yeah.
relatively speaking, and that I liked to wear skirts, and I kept Shabbos, but I would blow dry my hair because I was
Rebel.
That was like something I wouldn't. It was like something I couldn't give up. But at the same time, I was still playing sports in high school. It was a private Jewish high school. We were in the private school league, and we played schools all the way up to Baltimore.
What sports were you playing?
So I did 1 year of basketball and decided it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I did volleyball for 4 years. I did track and field, but just the field, shot put and discus because I was strong. And we would play the Jewish schools. We would play the Hebrew Academy. We would play Rambam from Baltimore, and we would win because we were the day school. We weren't the Orthodox school. But then we would play the Catholic schools, and we would get crushed.
Right.
Especially in volleyball, those girls were 6 feet tall. And then I get to college in undergrad. I go to Indiana University, where it's 10% Jewish. So unlike Maryland or Michigan that are 25% Jewish, I was like, oh, finally, I'm going to meet people who aren't Jewish. I meet all of these Jews at IU who are from Louisville and Cincinnati and St. Louis who are like, no, I'm coming to IU because it's so Jewish and I want to meet Jews. And I'm like, funny. But I ultimately got involved at Hillel because I couldn't stay away. And but at the same time, really got into weightlifting. Because
to help the other sports, to help the field aspect, or
because I could not compete at the Division I level. Indiana University, a Big Ten school, there was no way a 5'4.5" Jewish girl was going to be on any sports team.
5'4.5" for life.
Yes.
I thought I was 5'7" for years.
Well, you know you get shorter when you lean out because you lose all the cushioning between your joints, including at the bottom of your feet.
Bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
I know. So the first classic thing I did, I said, I don't know if I'm going to be under 5'4". And Kenny, my posing coach, goes, yeah, you will, because you lose all the fat at your bottom of your feet. And I went in, sure enough,
but I
was 5'3", dude.
So I measured in at 5'4.5" this show, but I measured in at 5'4.25" my last show, and I was like, "There's no difference."
I know.
Like, yeah, come on.
Sometimes,
but I was 5'5" at one point in my life.
Yeah, I thought I was 5'7". Clearly, I was wearing Timberlands or something. I can't figure out what it was.
This is a thing I just can't relate to. You know, just
he's so tall,
6'3". Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're not. You're not typical.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, typical Jewish. Yeah. Right. I don't know. We have to talk to the mailman or something. But anyway.
Your mom cheated on you? That was such a weird aside to say. The mailman.
I mean, he was pretty tall.
It was the milkman in the old days, by the way.
Well, there's no milkman. I mean,
all right.
I was born in 1985.
You start lifting weights. Are there other women doing it? Are there other Jews doing it when you're doing it?
So it started in high school, actually, because at a Jewish school, you had your secular subjects and your Judaic subjects. And then you also had a couple electives. And because it was a Jewish school, plenty of us were overachievers and were taking extra languages or extra academic classes.
What languages did you take?
No, in high school I didn't.
None.
I took study hall and I took gym. Those were my two electives. And the people, you had to do 2 semesters of gym in high school, and that was it. So most people knocked it out in 9th and 10th grade. So in 9th and 10th grade, gym was really popular. You would play dodgeball, kickball, all the traditional gym stuff.
Right.
But then by the time you got to the second semester of 10th grade and 11th and 12th grade, the only people taking gym were people who liked to work out. So it migrated from dodgeball and kickball into the weight room. So weightlifting started in high school. I didn't pick up a barbell or a dumbbell initially because I was like the only woman and I was figuring out the machines. The teacher didn't really pay much attention to me. I did some cardio stuff. But then one day, all the guys are gathered around the bench press and they're like cheering each other on. And finally, I'm like, can I try? Mm-hmm. And the teacher's like, sure. I lay down on the bench. I think there were 5 or 10 pounds on each side of the bar.
That's more than Mondami does.
And I lay down, I put my hands on the bar, I start doing it, and I'm looking at the teacher above me, and I'm like, should I keep going? And he's like, no, stop. So I rack it. He puts 25 on each side of the bar, and then I did it, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was cool. So I get to Indiana, and I start going to the gym, and I get a personal trainer because these students studying kinesiology, you can get them for trainers for $20 a session.
Yeah.
And I'm working out, and these girls approach me. And they're like, we need you to join the rugby team.
Really?
And I was like, I don't know what rugby is.
Yeah.
It's a club team. It involves tackling. You need to be big and muscular. I had no idea.
So you're putting muscle on already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because I'm lifting heavy weights and I'm eating.
Yeah.
Because it's college.
Where were you learning how to eat? At that time?
I wasn't.
You were just
I was just eating
food?
Yeah. And
okay.
I was so nervous about the freshman 15 that I only put on 6 pounds freshman year.
Okay.
But then I was like, woohoo, I got through freshman year without putting on the freshman 15. Put it on in sophomore year.
Okay.
Was this trainer teaching you how to like lift for aesthetics? In other words, like were they?
No.
It was just regular.
I don't even think he knew what he was doing in hindsight.
So how did you figure it out? Was it like a process of like, going online or reading books on it, or?
I wasn't doing any of that. He was telling me what to do. I was trying things. I was like, "Oh, that was fun. Let's do that again."
But you were growing either way. I mean, you were getting.
Yeah, I was putting on muscle.
Okay.
I think technique was coming. I wasn't getting hurt, thank God.
Right.
So these girls approach me and they're like, we need you on the rugby team. And I'm like, I have no idea what rugby is. So I go out for the rugby team and I get there. It's a club team. And you're just on the team when you show up for a practice. And one of the girls says to me, now we have an equal number of Jews and lesbians. And I was like, which one do you think I am? And she's like, oh, you're Jewish, right? And I was like, yeah, just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, just checking. The nose.
Yeah.
So my dad, I tell my parents I joined the rugby team. And they're used to me being on teams. They've come to my games, all through high school. And my dad goes, just don't get hurt.
Right.
February of freshman year, I joined the rugby team, April 1st, in a game against Grand Valley State in upstate Indiana. I tear my ACL and my MCL,
Oof.
my left leg. Yep. Someone tackled me and I went this way and the joint went that way. Thankfully, no bones broken.
Yeah.
And a straight leg brace, surgery that summer, PT. I was like, okay, now I need to stay active because before all of this, I'm diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 4.
How's that come about?
I was losing weight, but I had just had a growth spurt and my weight hadn't caught up. I was drinking a lot of water, but it was the hottest May on record in St. Louis and everyone was drinking a lot of water. I was peeing a lot, but I had just learned how to go to the bathroom all by myself and I like to practice my big girl skills.
You were 4.
I was 4.
Okay.
And then one night, I just vomited through the night. My mom took me to the pediatrician the next morning, who took one look at me and was like, you're going over to Children's Hospital. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Now, the upside, if you've ever met an adult with type 1 who was diagnosed as an adult or as a teen, I think the upside is that I have no memories of life without it.
Okay.
But I also know that people who were diagnosed later in life, once they do get to a place where they can live with it and accept it, appreciate that they have memories of life without it.
Okay.
So
let me sidetrack here.
Yeah.
I know nothing about diabetes.
Yeah.
So walk me through what it is like living with this, how you combat it to the best of your abilities, and how does it affect your training and your day-to-day life?
That would take several episodes of a multi-hour long podcast.
Give me the
But the Cliff's Notes. So my pancreas makes no insulin, and insulin is a hormone that is vital for life. Insulin takes the food you eat and breaks it down and moves it into your cells for fuel and energy. And without insulin, your body cannot use the food you eat for fuel or for storage. It can't burn it for energy and it can't store it in fat.
Okay.
So all the food you eat passes through you, which is literally what diabetes mellitus means. It means in Latin, where sugar passes through, which is why somebody with undiagnosed or uncontrolled diabetes has sweet smelling urine because everything passes through you and you pee a lot.
And this is why bodybuilders who take a lot of growth hormone take insulin, right?
Well, we'll get to that. Okay. So that's what happens without insulin. And eventually, before 1922, when someone was injected with insulin, it was a death sentence because you can't live. But your body wouldn't just turn, you would waste away. Because what happens is for fuel, the body first burns all of your fat, then it burns muscle and vital organs. And then you can't live. And
So that's I never understood the danger of diabetes. The way you explained
type
1, right? No, but that way you explained it, that makes sense now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think that before insulin, that's just what would happen.
Yeah. It was, and there were wards of kids wasting away in hospitals from this sugar wasting disease. And so then in 1922, a guy named Banting injected insulin, I don't know that this is exactly how it went, but this is my impression of how it went. Basically figured out that he could take a pancreas from a pig, wring it out, draw up the insulin out of it, and inject it into a human. I'm sure it was more involved than that, and there was some cleaning of the fluid involved. But essentially, early iterations of insulin were bovine and porcine. So
would Jews have issues with this? Would they
absolutely.
Be like, this is not kosher. I cannot have that pig liver.
Bovine is cow pancreas, so that's not an issue at all. And then porcine, if that was all you could get, then I think any rabbi would say pikuach nefesh, right?
Life or death situation.
Yeah. You're saving a life. It's unequivocal. So now We have dozens of different types of insulin that are made in labs. We have insulins that work really rapidly. We have insulins that last a lot longer. We also have technology like insulin pumps, so you don't have to take injections.
Oh, wow.
So this little thing.
What is that?
This is an insulin pump.
Okay.
And it has insulin in this cartridge right here.
Okay.
And then this tube goes into my abdomen. It goes into the
Right.
Push it or it's self?
No,
It's automatic?
so I control it through an app on my phone.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how far we've come.
Did a Jew invent this?
Probably.
Yeah.
But this is the newest one that I've had. I've had this for about a year, but my original one was about the size of a pager, and it was buttons. And
I see some people have a thing that they
It's like a
yes,
patch.
so I have one of those. It is currently in a spot on my body that would be covered by my competition bikini because the
It's either butt, front butt, or boobies, or back. I'm going to go with
You've hit it.
probably
You've hit it.
butt.
It's not.
It's
But there's another type 1 bodybuilder, Brent Swanson.
Yeah.
There's a video of him on YouTube putting his infusion set on his butt, the little tiny bit of his body that's covered by his competition suit.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, good for you.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was the only one who found square footage that was covered. But no,
I just feel like if anybody brings insulin to a competition, like you better hold that like it's gold.
So the crazy thing is insulin is not anabolic.
Right.
It's really good at putting fat on your body.
Right.
It's not really good at putting muscle on your body.
So correct. So this is my understanding. Obviously, you know a lot more than I do. I'm just parroting other people. So the way it's explained to me in the bodybuilding world is because after a certain point when you take too much growth hormone, exogenous growth hormone, like 10 IUs a day or plus that, your body can stop making insulin, and then you start getting this like kind of like flat look. So with people who are taking a lot of gear and also growth hormone, what they'll do is they'll incorporate, it's very dangerous, but in a very safe way, calculated way, they'll do a shot of insulin, lift as they're, taking it, and then slowly sip sugar through the workout, so that the theory is that you're slowly shuttling the nutrients into the muscle to kind of pump them back up so they don't lose the fullness. But if you do too much, like you were saying, it's going to be stored as body fat.
Problem. Yeah.
Right.
Well, or also hypoglycemia, low blood sugar during a workout, which then makes your workout. Right. Or you could die.
Right.
That too.
Or if you don't get the sugar, you could die, which is sad.
So there's some truth to what you said.
Okay.
There's
Cool.
some accuracy. I'll give you a little bit.
Tell me.
So
I don't know anything.
where you're right
Yeah.
is the idea that insulin shuttles the glucose into the cells, and that gives you a fullness, a pump look.
And I just want to say, nobody should do what I just said.
We're not endorsing this.
Right.
No.
Don't take insulin. It's if you're not diabetic, don't take insulin during a workout because you might die.
Right.
Jordan is not a doctor. All of this information is for research purposes only.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
But
Key pioneers and inventors behind the development of the insulin pump had Jewish heritage.
Woo!
All right.
Yay, Jews.
So anti-Semites should not buy this.
yeah, no, you can't use an insulin pump if you're a diabetic
Anti-Semites
anti-Semite.
do not have a problem using Jewish
No.
inventions at all.
They'll
Absolutely.
complain about us, then they'll be like using all of our products.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
enjoying our innovations and our doctors.
How tough is this to live with now that you have modern medicine on your side?
It's still very tough.
Still very
tough. Yeah, because your body, as your blood sugar goes up, it does all the different things it needs to do to bring it back down. As your blood sugar goes down, it does all the different things it needs to do to bring it back up. My body doesn't do that. I have to do that myself.
So this is a dumb layman question.
No.
How do you look so good when you have to struggle against this thing that is fighting to make your body not look like this?
It's a lot of work.
Okay. So people that compete or people that train all the time know what a regimen is. They know that I wake up, I do my fasted posing, I do my fasted cardio, I finally eat, I train, I eat, I train, I do more cardio, I do more posing. It's almost a full-time job, but you still do another thing. Right. Same as me. We have this mentality in us where we have to work. And
we have to pay our bills.
And we just keep going. And
Bodybuilding
we would
doesn't do that.
We would probably do it otherwise. I mean, if I had my druthers, I would. If I was a bodybuilder and I was making money doing it, I would still do something else, I think, because I enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
You enjoy what you do. What is the daily, 2 questions. What is the daily regimen for you, and how did you get into bodybuilding?
So the daily regimen is I'm just constantly thinking about my blood sugar. And my blood sugar is right now 197, which is high.
Okay.
And I could take out my phone and take insulin. In fact, I'll do that.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
About it.
Show us how this happens.
So I open up the app.
Tinder.
And
Are you on that?
I am not.
What is dating like for you?
It's if I,
Oh,
beauty
boy.
is in the
Oh,
eye.
boy.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
There are men who love my physique, and there are men who don't. And the men who don't are not hitting me up, and the men who do are hitting me up, and it is what it is.
So are you getting like muscle worshipers, or are you getting people that see you as a whole package because you're smart, you're funny, you're
It
charming?
depends. I mean, my DMs are full of guys who want pics of me flexing.
Yeah.
Same.
But right, without clothes on. But there are guys out there who do see me as a potential. I mean, like, I make incredible challah.
Yeah.
And I make incredible hamantashen.
Yeah.
And I am also a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
And I have an apartment in New York City.
Yeah. You're
Right.
a catch.
Thank
Right.
you.
You are a
Thank you.
catch.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
Do you
catches,
own or do you rent?
I own.
Oh my.
Dude. Ian,
All right.
who you dating? You like young guys? He's on the spectrum, I think.
Is he Jewish?
Yeah, he's Jewish.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's something.
Yeah.
You know,
something.
I found you guys.
The lowest compliment. All right, it's you know.
No one's perfect. I found you guys.
She's funny too, Ian.
because of Melissa frickin' Chapman's Let's Make Jewish Babies.
Oh, when I was on there, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't follow her. But
Oh.
half of my friends sent me your post,
Oh
and
my
we're like,
God.
"This is the man for you because you like men who work out."
Yeah.
And Jewish men, I have been in relationships where guys have said, "I think you work out too much."
Right.
And I'm like, "I think you and I are not right for each other."
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm going to tell you this, quick aside. Piper, I don't know if you know this. My daughter's here. The week I was going to marry my wife, there was a female bodybuilder at the New York Sports Club where I used to go in Astoria. And I remember we were talking and I go, am I making a mistake? No. Should I be marrying this? So my wife always makes a joke about it now. She goes, you should have married Stephanie. We don't even know.
We don't
Stephanie
know if that was
name.
her name.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So I'm taking some insulin because my blood sugar's a little high.
So you press.
I'm pressing buttons.
Cool.
And do you choose how much you want to take?
Yes. So I'm choosing just to take a unit because I do have some active insulin. And then, is it beeping? Yeah,
You feel it?
it's the beep. No, I can't feel it.
Can I borrow some?
I have a refrigerator full of it.
Yeah.
And I have,
Oh my God.
yeah, we'll talk.
Okay.
I
I've
should-
never tried it, and I've been warned against it
I
because
don't
I had a pro
recommend
bodybuilder friend that apparently died. My friend goes,
Yeah.
don't ever take
Yeah,
it.
it's incredibly risky.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of the most risky.
Yeah.
You can play around with almost any anabolic, and you're not going to die tomorrow.
Diuretics and insulin are what I hear.
Right. Yeah.
They say you
Those
wanna
things
be
can
really-
kill you if you screw it up. The measurement, you
Right.
can die instantly.
Yes, that is absolutely
Wow.
true.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is, so I was doing powerlifting.
Yeah.
After undergrad, I moved to New York. I'm lifting at the New York Sports Clubs on Mercer Street, and this big dude comes up to me and he goes, "You can go heavier." And I was like, "Probably, but I don't trust just anyone to spot me." And he's like, "I can spot you." And I was like, "You can." So he puts me through this workout. Turns out he's the fitness manager of the club, strongman competitor, former Carolina Panther linebacker. Puts me through this powerlifting workout, right? So heavy weights for few reps. It's nothing like I've ever done before. And when it's over, I said, "Now what?" He goes, "Now we eat to spike our insulin levels." The premise being that the insulin will shuttle the food. You eat something high carb, it spikes your insulin, which then shuttles those carbs into your muscles to help them repair, to help them get plumper, to help
Right.
them, get bigger and stronger. And I go, "Hold that thought." I whip out my insulin pump. I go, beep, beep, beep. And I say, "Insulin levels spiked."
Yeah.
His jaw dropped. He's like, "Oh my God, you have such an advantage." And there are a lot of people in this industry who think that this is an advantage, but it's also a huge disadvantage
Yeah.
because the perfect blood sugar with the perfectly timed carbs and exercise, yes, maybe you could argue because I need to take more insulin to achieve what your bodies do naturally. But my blood sugar never stays perfect. Right. And both that hyperglycemia, high blood sugar, and hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, are actively catabolic states. So it is not an advantage.
Okay.
It is not an advantage.
You got to find the sweet spot, and
Right,
you can't
exactly.
stay there all the time.
Right. I try. I don't do a horrible job. And certainly the modern technology. I mean, so the glucose monitor is that little disc that you see on people's arms. And that is what is communicating with my pump through this app on my phone and is making some decisions about dosing because we have that technology now. Right. That helps a lot. That technology did not exist when I was in high school and I was not taking my insulin and I was rebelling. And the doctor didn't figure it out until it was revealed in blood work.
What's rebellious about not taking your insulin?
Oh,
who were you teaching a lesson to?
I was rebelling myself.
Okay.
I was being a rebellious teenager. And what happened when my doctor did catch on? She said, everybody goes through this. We're not mad at you, but you're too smart. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to have eye problems. You're going to lose a toe. Like all these things. When you have high blood sugar all the time, it's the smallest blood vessels that take the brunt of the.
Is that what feels? Because I heard that about losing a toe. Why is that the first thing that comes
because
off?
The blood vessels that are smallest and the blood vessels that are furthest from your heart are the ones that are going to suffer the first.
Oh, wow.
When you have issues with circulation, and high blood sugar ultimately leads to issues with circulation. So eye problems and peripheral vascular disease, so the periphery, meaning the fingers and the toes, that's where the issues happen. And so, like, I have been trying for 35 years of diabetes to get my health insurance company to cover pedicures, but they won't.
Yeah.
But that's something I would go to a hill I would die on.
How do the parents react when you first say you're going to do a bodybuilding show? Do you tell them this?
My dad goes, "Could you do anything more goyish?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the one thing about them, so I would say that I was getting the recommendation to be physically active from my healthcare providers from a very young age, which is not typical because I am both a nurse practitioner and I'm a personal trainer, but I cannot separate the two. With all of my PT clients, I'm talking about health. I'm talking about their blood markers. Even if I don't know them, I'm talking about them in theory. I'm talking about their hormones, their supplements, their nutrition. But then with all of my patients, I'm also talking about what they're doing for exercise and how they're eating. And it's all interrelated, but we've all siloed these things. Right. And so I give my healthcare providers credit for imparting the importance of exercise, even if they didn't even know what to prescribe or how to explain it. And I give my parents credit for when my doctor figured out that I had not been taking my insulin and told my parents, they were devastated. They were like, "We feel like you have taken advantage of us," because they had been taking care of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then as I grew, I started taking on more and more and more of the responsibilities until by the time I was in high school, I was managing it myself, or so they thought. And I would test the waters to see if I could get away with skipping something. And I did. And so then I would do it again and I would do it more often. So it happened in 10th grade. My A1C, are you familiar with that blood test?
Mm-hmm. I'm not.
It's a blood value that can tell someone it's an average blood sugar for the last 90 days, and anything under 5.7 is considered normal. 5.7 to 6.4 is prediabetes, and 6.4 and above is diabetes. My A1C hit 13.3.
That's diabetes times 2.
That's times 7. And so my parents were devastated. The doctor was like, "We're going to give you a month. We're going to recheck it. Do whatever you have to do. Do whatever you have to do."
Yeah.
And I knew what I had to do. I just had to take the right amount of insulin.
Yeah.
And so I did. And I didn't change anything else. And I'm playing sports in high school. And what happened? In 1 month, my A1C went from 13.3 to 10.0, which is great because it reflects the last 90 days. So only that last month, it would keep getting better. And I gained 10 pounds because that state of not taking enough insulin, my body wasn't digesting the food I was eating. And so suddenly I started taking the right amount of insulin for the food I was eating, and I put on 10 pounds. And I hung out at that weight or higher until I decided at 37 and a half that I had a 20th high school reunion coming up and a 40th birthday coming up, and I wanted to do a bodybuilding competition before I turned 40.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was the show?
The show that I did?
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah.
The Atlantic States last year.
And
then I got bit by the bug.
How'd you do in the first show?
I came in second in 3 classes. I'm fifth in 1.
Yeah.
And I was bit by the bug. And I said, well, if I can come in second, then I can come in first.
Yeah.
And I did 2 divisions. So I know I've listened to a couple episodes where you guys don't know much about the women's categories. There are 6 women's categories in the NPC.
And there's wellness, and then the rest I don't know.
So, of course, the one that you know is
bodybuilding.
So from least muscular to most muscular.
Okay.
Fit model, they look like Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful, strong women who look like Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Bikini.
Yeah.
And then wellness, which is lower body dominant.
Okay.
And
I
then
didn't notice.
and then figure.
Yeah.
And then women's physique. And then women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
There's also a category called fitness, where the girls not only pose, but they also do like an acrobatic routine. There's very few competitors in that division anymore, but there's usually enough for there to be
I think they increased the categories,
Olympia.
right? 'Cause
Yes.
There wasn't, I mean, back in the day, there wasn't this
No,
many. Okay,
there wasn't.
right.
So wellness is only like 6 years old. I want to say 2018
Right.
or 2019.
Women literally dominate the field now. Like there was like 2 days of women's at the U, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I competed Thursday. You competed Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was aware of this years ago because one of my first films about bodybuilding was Pumping Iron, but I was one of the rare people to see the sequel first because I couldn't get it out of the library. So I saw the sequel. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. It's just it's Pumping Iron 2, but it was all about the women's competitions.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw Bev Francis and knew about her as a bodybuilder, and it was really cool. And that whole thing was fascinating to see women like that. So I don't know if you've ever seen the film.
I have. It's been a little while, but yeah.
I mean, it's so old, but it's like, but back then you had like 3 categories, I think, right?
Or even less, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
and Bev was like, I don't know, an incredible physique. I mean, that's why she became who she was.
Right. Well, and the early iterations of the women's bodybuilding they were the men's. It was the same stuff that the men were doing.
Right.
You were barefoot. You were posing like, a front double bicep.
Yeah.
Whereas fit model, bikini, wellness, and figure don't lift up their arms at all.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so, yes, there's a lot of hips. There's a lot of booty. And honestly, that's empowering for a woman.
Yeah.
And that's where we get our power. That's how we.
There is nothing negative about anything in this world, which is what I've noticed. Like the sense of camaraderie and the sense of, I had a moment this weekend where I was like, I had one negative moment where I was like, because, I didn't get my Pro Card and I thought I was going to get my Pro Card. So at this moment, and then I went and everybody goes, you deserve your Pro Card. And everybody just kind of came up. And within a minute, I was over it and I was just back to gratitude and feeling this great sense of power and being with all these people. And, even though you want to beat the shit out of these people, you want to destroy them.
Right.
And you will before you go on stage who you're beating and who you're not.
Right.
So I knew, I was like, okay, I think I've got first locked up in 50 plus. And then I go to 40 plus and I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to take second because sometimes a monster shows up.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay, this guy. And the difference in the years sometimes makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But it is such a positive thing. And you're just talking to, like, I don't know if it's the same for you, talking to people backstage.
Oh my
Where
God.
are you from? Where
Yes.
is your family here?
Everybody is so supportive of everybody else. I mean, the main thing we were all, oh my God, I love your hair. I love your makeup. I love your suit. I mean, I describe it, especially in the women's divisions, to people who don't understand bodybuilding. I say, imagine a pageant, right? The hair, the makeup, the tan, the heels, the sparkle, minus the fabric.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a pageant minus the fabric.
How good did it feel when you got that Pro Card? I mean, I was shepping nachas for you. I was feeling it.
Do we have a photo
with you? Can you find a picture of Dena on Instagram? Do you know her Instagram?
So actually, I don't have. If you go to NPC News Online and type in Universe, you can see photos of me posing, and you can see the lineup photos. And I can send you a video of my presentation if you want. And there's the photo. Did I send you the photo? I can send someone a photo.
I think I have a picture. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, send it over.
Okay, hang on. Please bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, because what was disappointing was that one of the things you see on Instagram all the time is people holding that Pro Card over their head on stage.
Right.
And at the Universe, there's so many classes to award that you take that group photo and they shove you off. And the only person who gets that solo photo is the overall winner.
Yeah.
And so I ran to there's that one.
Texted to you.
Okay. I went to the backdrop and took some photos.
Oh, okay.
But I've since edited them, so that one's whatever. It is.
Okay.
It is
what it is. It's you holding the card.
That's right. And I, there are people who spend years in this sport and sometimes get it and still sometimes don't.
Yeah.
And to do it in my second season.
I know.
And my first national show, I am so humbled that I am like determined to use it for good.
Yeah.
And I would be anyway if it was my 20th attempt. But like, I want to use...
They are. Oh, you hate that picture, don't you?
I mean, there are better ones. There are better
That's
ones.
Great, though.
Thank you. Yes.
We're also like our own worst critics, so.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, you look way better now than you did there.
Thank you. If you can see the
you
solo
look so
shots
happy
from the NPC Northeast website, there's solo shots and there's lineup shots. The lineup shots are great. I love the lineup shots because
you sent that to me, so that's your own doing.
You can see why they chose.
Oh, okay, right. But that's
chose.
I mean, still in that photo, you're like, wow, that looks great.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I do feel like a princess. I mean, the sparkle, the hair, the makeup, and.
Now, did you have people there watching?
I had one person there.
Yeah.
Because again, my first national show, I had so many friends who came out to the Atlantic States last year for my first real show. Mm-hmm. And I felt bad because I was on stage for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that, so I couldn't explain that to them. And they came all the way out there from the city, and it's such a hike. But I was like, guys, don't worry about it. I'll send you updates digitally and we'll meet up for dinner in the city. And I had a bunch of people come out for dinner in the city.
Where'd you go?
Just to the Carnegie Diner.
What'd you have?
A burger.
Bun?
Yes.
Condiments?
Yeah.
Cheese?
Yes.
Yes. Fries?
Yes.
Coke or milkshake?
No, seltzer.
Seltzer.
I don't drink my calories.
Okay.
I don't drink my calories. I grew up drinking diet soda because it was the only free food. But I really don't do a lot of diet soda anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
So now you got a Pro Card. What's the plan?
Well, one option is to just retire.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to be satisfied with that.
There's something so addictive about it.
It really is. It really is. And in women's physique, I mean, you can look at some of my solo shots and then put them next to like the girls on the Olympia. Other than hardness and really more conditioning, I think I have the size, or I have a good foundation for the size. And so last season I did wellness. I am not built for wellness, but I was mashuggah enough to think I could, because I had done all these years of powerlifting and I thought I had the lower body. And my coach, to his credit, would not commit to that. He was like, we'll see, because you don't really know what you look like when you're lean until you're lean.
Right.
And so as I leaned out, my back came into focus. All those years of deadlifting. And we were like, this is wasted in wellness. The girls cover their back with their hair in wellness. So suddenly I'm considering figure. I ended up doing figure and wellness at the Atlantic States in 2025. And the feedback was more shoulders and lats for figure, more glutes for wellness. So in my off season, I did that. And next thing you know, I'm women's physique, because I have big everything.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting what you're saying. It's like figuring it out as you're building it. It's like, but that's what, I mean, I've never competed, but the closest I ever came was before COVID. I had a coach. And while we're actually training and, it was off season and I'm just putting on size, and it was probably the biggest I ever got. He was trying to decide like what he would do with me, but he's like, we don't know this until you lean out. It was like, we're putting on the size. Yeah. And at the time, right now I'm like 245, 250. At the time I was getting close to 265. And I just looked like a linebacker. I mean, like my shoulders were, I was like thick, couldn't breathe. I was just walking, my legs were huge, but like I had no idea what my physique would look like had I leaned out. Maybe everything would shrink, or I don't know. But he was saying, I don't know right now.
Right.
But we was like, let's just train. let's just get you big, and then we'll figure it out. But that's kind of my experience.
You don't know, and then you could be classic, you could be men's physique, right? If your legs really shrink, you don't know,
right?
And so. Yeah, so I got bigger. So then it was women's physique. But then as I leaned out again, I was like, no, at the Universe, I put myself into physique and figure just to have the extra chance. They were the same day. The only difference was I had to put on my heels, because that's the other thing about the women's divisions. You wear heels in the first 4, and you don't wear heels in physique and bodybuilding. And
I guess as you get bigger, it's harder to wear the heels.
Yeah, you're going to have a tough time.
And you can't really hit a front double.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not quite. They're not conducive.
Okay.
To it. Right. But I mean, so I have video of me walking across the stage in the heels and walking across the stage not in the heels.
Yeah.
It looks a lot better in the heels.
Really?
Oh my! Not the physique, just like the walk.
More graceful.
It's a different kind of look. But if you look at my solo, you don't get a solo presentation in any of the women's divisions except physique and bodybuilding. So in physique, I get to choreograph a routine to music, and I swear I look and feel like Cinderella.
Yeah.
So it's magical.
What was your song?
It was a song from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
That's great.
Oh.
Should I send you the video?
Yeah. I was thinking of doing Fiddler on the Roof for the Masters.
I honestly, like...
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
If I was a rich man.
Wait, so you didn't get to perform a routine?
Yeah, I did a routine.
What did you do it to?
I do. I have a song that my other podcast co-host did. It's "Feeling Good" by Nina Simone.
Oh,
but it's
great
like
song.
a mix.
Okay.
And so this show, I went a little nuts. So I went out and I get sick of the crowd being quiet because I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
So I finally let that insert itself into it. So I kind of was like, I'm like, come on! And they started making noise. And then I went out for the overall pose down, and I looked at the judges and I looked at the audience, and it was a great pose down.
Yeah.
Me and these.
Wow.
Yeah, you look killer.
That's great.
You look killer.
Yeah.
Is the video there?
No, the video's not there, but I can send it to someone if you give me a
And by
number.
the way, amazing. Quads.
Look at the quads.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Tina, you look phenomenal.
Thank you. Can you show the side chest and the side chest? Yeah, no, not that one. The next one. That's okay. The next one.
I don't know the name.
Yeah, that one. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, wow.
That's one of my
You
favorites.
see that, Piper? You see it on the screen? It's how good she
Amazing.
looks.
Look at that. Look at that tricep.
And then you can close.
You look
that.
great.
The other one is the bottom row.
Yeah,
the third one.
Third
Third one. That.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
Wow. Oh, shredded.
Amazing.
Peeled. That's what we call peeled, dude. So I went.
But I feel like a princess.
I yelled at the audience, and I did this. I'm standing there relaxed. I go, this crowd is dead. And the judges are like, what is this guy? And I go, make some noise. You're about to see an overall pose down. Come on. And people started going crazy.
Good.
And I had so much fun.
Doing crowd work.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It was so much fun,
But
but
you know-
nobody else does that.
well,
Most bodybuilders
they don't.
don't have a sense of humor.
One.
They'll
And
be like,
also the
"This is
crowd
greatest
is-
day of my life.
The crowd
I
is
loved
there.
It. It is so good, and I worked very hard, and my coach did good.
That's why
I am so
they
happy.
don't interview us.
That's how you talk when you're on trend. That's just like.
I mean, that's why Schwarzenegger stood out, was because
Personality,
He had a
yeah.
personality.
charismatic.
Yeah.
He could talk,
Right.
and the sport probably needs more people like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and of course, if you've ever watched a show where there's a lot of individual performances, especially in the finals, you know it's all rock and rap
yeah.
and pop. So I said, I'm going to choose a song
Yeah.
that is going to make anyone who's not paying attention look up and
Yeah.
go, who chose that song? And so it is an old
Yeah.
school Rodgers and Hammerstein song.
My other podcast host, Ralph, he goes, it really stood out because everybody else is AC/DC,
Yeah.
Metallica, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what's this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who can I send this to? Oh, there we go.
Is there if you, I mean, I know you're kidding, but if you were to do something like, Fiddler, or do you get points taken off for making a joke? Or like,
I don't know. I think I got docked in my next division for being that outgoing.
I see.
They gave me a third where I was clearly a second.
No.
Yes.
Was it the Open or was it a
No, it was like a
Masters?
40 plus
Okay,
Masters.
because you know that if it was in the Open, if top two got cards, it was
Yeah.
only in the Masters classes where it was only top one.
Yeah. No, this was master. And there was like a skinny bantamweight that they mushed into the classes, and they gave me third. And I was like, this is funny. But then I did the 35 plus, and they gave me second again. So it's really weird. It's, it is such an interesting sport, and I love to figure it out as I go. And I'm so addicted to being part of contests. Like the other day I was like, I think I'm done. I won my division at the U. That's what I set out to do.
Right.
And I go, I think I'm done. And I talked to one pro, Mark, and he goes, I talked to every pro we know, and I asked for advice, and everyone gave me different advice. And Mark said, no matter what, wait 24 hours before you make a decision.
Right.
And then the next day I was like, oh yeah, I got to do Pittsburgh because I already signed up for it. We're shooting a documentary with the homeless pimp, and he's a comedy.
And that's in 3 weeks, right?
No, that's next week. I go there Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So I'm so addicted to it. I don't know what I'm gonna do without it. Like it becomes such a part of your life for so long. Yeah. You're talking at least 6 months, and then it's like everyone's like, "Oh, I'd love to live a normal life," but I don't.
But you've been talking about it for a while because I've known you for quite a bit now. We've always talked about when you competed once.
Yeah.
But like you could tell, like you want to do it.
These are some of the best days of my life. And then my daughter's there, my wife is there, and we have such a blast. All right, let's see this video, and then we're going to do a final question, and we're going to get Dena out of here. Wow. Piper watch.
Amazing.
And I was a lot more shredded in the morning. I couldn't hold it the whole day, but all the decisions.
Back is killer. Look at the Christmas tree.
All the decisions are made in pre-judging.
Hanukkah tree. We call it Hanukkah tree on Jewish bodybuilders.
As we should.
Hanukkah bush. Dude.
Amazing.
One of the things that I've been told is I still look pretty. And
yes, you do.
That's important. I think that we don't
You're glowing.
Right.
And
that's the 3 layers of spray tan.
I feel joy watching your joy. It's contagious.
Yeah, it's.
That's the thing is you genuinely look happy out there, and like you could tell that. Some women walk out there and it's like they're just like,
Well, and also the femininity piece. I want to keep it.
Good for you.
That's the problem. The more muscle that you have, then oftentimes some of that is sacrificed. And I'm really trying to not have that happen to me. And in fact, so one of the things you said to me when I said start davening, you said Hashem will provide. Yeah. And I'm in Teaneck, New Jersey. If I had wanted to find a Siddur, I could have. Yeah. I certainly could have downloaded an app. I certainly know plenty of tefillot. If I had, the one thing that I kept coming back to, my brain kept replaying, was Eshet Chayil, a woman of valor. And I'm like, I want to project that, and then I want to embody that, and I want to inspire that in other women. Because, the whole poem, Eshet Chayil, is about the strength of a Jewish woman and the integrity and the power of a Jewish woman. And it might not be the traditional venue, but why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Final question, Jordan.
Can we go back to the dating scenario?
Sure.
Do you typically date guys that are into fitness, like big, or will you date someone who's like scrawny?
My most successful.
Ian's just cut.
My most successful relationships have been with guys that are active.
Okay.
Because I'm so active, and it has to be. It's a lifestyle, right? Like it can't. Going for walks, like going on vacation. I love to go on walks or hikes, and if you don't want to live that way, then we're probably not going to get along.
Right.
But also the flip side is that I also can say from experience that I can be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't share the same interests as long as we aren't threatened by each other's interests or solo pursuits. And so that's also an option because I don't mind walking by myself. I love listening to podcasts when I'm walking around. And but if somebody says, I think you work out too much, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's done.
And
It's a deal breaker.
I do have to say that, like, there's a subgenre of gym.
And if they say that, they're losers.
Agreed.
Right.
There's a genre of gym talk where there's couples who work out together, and that's a lot of together time. But also, if you don't also like, if that's not your full-time job, which it isn't for me because I have to pay my bills, then maybe that is a good couple bonding time. And there's a part of me that wouldn't mind that. Having someone to work out with would be nice.
I love this.
Yeah, awesome.
And meal prep with.
Yeah.
Right.
And buy chicken in bulk with.
That Shabbat dinner has got to be like protein heavy,
So much chicken. But you know what's crazy is I like the food. I like the prep food
I like
that
the
I
food
make.
too.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't eat a lot of carbs when I'm in prep because my body is very sensitive. Yeah. And one of the reasons I've put on weight, because it's only 5 days post-show and I'm up 11 pounds. One of the reasons I put on weight is because I'm eating more carbs because there were carbs I missed. But also because eating more carbs means taking more insulin. And I restarted. Hormones make us hold water. So if you're taking HRT, which is lady TRT, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, most coaches will have you stop that. And so I had stopped for a while because I'm almost 40. And as a diabetic, we can go through menopause earlier. And so I was actively taking HRT and stopped for the few weeks leading up to the show to dry out. And so restarted it all overnight. And I feel much better.
Yes.
But the water will... And I tell my patients all the time, when you start a new hormone regimen, you might think you're gaining weight, but you're not. It's just water. Give it time. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
What can we promote for you? What are your plugs? Tell us about your business.
I am a nurse practitioner. We didn't even talk about how
you're going to be a repeat guest. We're going to have you back.
And my education.
You knocked it out of the park.
I am available in New York City for in-person personal training. I am available virtually for healthcare. I do hormone optimization. I specialize in perimenopause and menopause. But if you are in your 30s, you want to talk about contraception or even getting pregnant, and there is a nutrition and fitness component to all of my patient care. My practice is virtual. It doesn't take insurance because I'm too small. But if you have an HSA or an FSA, you can use that. If you have out-of-network benefits, you can do that. So wellnesswomenshealth.com. You do need to be located in one of the 9 states in which I'm licensed: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Virginia, Michigan, Minnesota, Florida, or Illinois. And you can find me on Instagram if you're interested in diabetes and fitness content. I'm Dena Diabetic or Dena the Diabetic. And
Amazing.
if you want my medicine stuff, Dena the DNP.
Awesome.
Amazing.
All right.
Dena,
thanks so much.
badass Jew. What a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
We'll be back next week, everybody.
All right.
From iron wombs our fathers, dust breeze ancient agony, a covenant of